Yesterday we discussed the patrilineal and matrilineal and as well as the bilateral skins. Okay. Today we're going to discuss about the types of kin. Types of kin. Keep aside reading types of kin. On the basis of nearness or distance kins are classified into kins are classified into three types. Kins are classified into three types on the basis of nearness or distance. Kins are classified into three types. One is primary kins, secondary kins, and tertiary kins. See, the kins were of three types. So it was divided on the basis of their relationship, their nearness of relationship. Okay. So some of the members will come into the primary kins and some of them secondary and some of them are tertiary. Let's look into it. Who are the primary kins, who are the secondary, and who are the tertiary. Okay. First, keep aside heading under that primary kins. Primary kins. Under the trigon, the primary kins, every individual who belongs to a nuclear family, finds its primary kins within the family. So the primary kins come under the very nearest or the close relationship people. Okay, that comes under into the primary kins. See, I have given the examples. There are 8 primary kins. Who were the primary kins? See in the window presentation. One is husband and wife. They come into the primary kin. Means they are the very first relationship, no? So that's why husband and wife, father and son, mother and son, father and daughter, mother and daughter, younger brother, elder brother, younger sister, elder sister, and brother and sister. Okay, these relations will come under into the primary relationship or primary kins. See, in each and every family, these type of relations were emerged. So these the relations relation comes into a main role of a family. Ante evaraithe family members untaro, main members, that comes under into the primary kins. Okay, that is husband and wife, father and son, mother and son, father and daughter, mother and daughter, younger brother and elder brother, younger sister and elder sister, and as well as the brother and sister. They will comes under into the primary kins. Next, second one is secondary kins. Secondary kins. Who are the secondary kins? Outside the nuclear family. Outside the nuclear family means in the primary kins, the nuclear family members will come under into the primary kins. Outside the nuclear family, the individual can have 33 types of secondary relatives. The individual can have 33 types of secondary relatives. See, remember, this type of questions will arise in the competitive exams. See, that was if you go through the competitive papers, whatever it may be, this type of they used to give the relation and they ask the question how they used to relate to each other. Okay, so remember, I'm not saying any stories or any blah blahs. It's these type of material was very useful to your competitive exams. Okay, write down under the secondary kins. Outside the nuclear family, the individual can have 33 types of secondary relationships. 33 types of secondary relatives. For example, mother's brother, brother's wife, sister's husband, father's brother, whoever it may be, and so on. There are 33 types of relations we choose for even tonight. This is very useful in the competitive exam. Remember, I have seen so many questions like on the blood related type questions and also as well as the relations. ఒక పర్సన్ ఇచ్చి ఆ పర్సన్ వీళ్ళకి ఎలా రిలేటివ్ అవుతాడు అన్నది అడుగుతూ ఉండడు. ఓకే, సో ఇన్ దట్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. నెక్స్ట్, థర్డ్ వన్ ఈస్ tertiary kins. Third one is tertiary kins. Under the try-down, it refers to the secondary kins of our primary kins. Secondary kins of our primary kins. అంటే సెకండరీ కిన్స్ కి ప్రైమరీ కిన్స్ కి ఉన్న రిలేషన్ తో ఫార్మ్ అయిన కిన్స్ were nothing but the tertiary kins. That relationship will come under into the tertiary. The relationship between among the secondary and primary, they form the new relationship that is nothing but the tertiary kins. Okay, anthropologists have spoken of 151 tertiary kins. 151 tertiary kins. Like wife, brother, son, sisters, husband, brother and sister, all these comes under into the tertiary kins. Means the relation will be going to be very far. The relation will be going to be very far. The primary kin will be the very nearest relation. The secondary kin will be the somewhat there will be some distance, and the tertiary kin have very far distance. Okay, tertiary kins, it refers to the secondary kins of our primary kins. Anthropologists have spoken of 151 tertiary kins. For example, like wife, brother, son, sisters, husband, brother and sister, and so on. With this, we finish the kinship. educational system. Educational system. You know what we mean by educational system? All these things, you know. Okay. But my side, I have to say something. So please write down. Keep a heading in the educational system. Another write down. Another write down. Education is one of the basic activities of the people. Basic activities of the people in all human societies. In all human societies. See, the education is very important all over the globe. Okay. Without the education today, there is nothing. See how many people are going to present every day and taking the attendance. With that only, we're going to present some of the marks. Remember, మీరు ఎవరెవరు వస్తున్నారో రోజు నేను అబ్జర్వ్ చేశాను. ఓకే, ఎంతమంది ఈ రోజు అయితే మరి దారుణంగా ఓన్లీ జస్ట్ 28 or 27 members వచ్చారు. మొత్తానికి 77 మంది వెళ్ళిపోయారు. వచ్చిన 80 క్లాస్ 80 members లో 52 members వచ్చేవారు. అందులో కొంతమంది తగ్గిపోయారు. If this happens like this means, see what will going to happen. See, not only myself, the management is taking your attendance. Today they have got some technical issues, so they were unable to share the link. So that's why I kept the link. Okay, they are taking directly the attendance. With that attendance only you will get the middle term marks and all those things. And the seminar marks, it will affect on your total. And moreover, I am your examiner. Remember, for sociology paper, I am going to examine your paper. Okay, the semester paper, the final paper, I am your examiner. I used to correct your paper. Remember that thing also. Apart from all subjects, the final examiner of your sociology subject is myself. Right on. Education is one of the basic activities of the people in all human societies. Full stop. The continued existence of society. The continued existence of society depends upon the continued existence of society depends upon the transmission of culture of the young. Transmission of culture of the young. Okay, the education is very important to transmit the culture. Without the culture, we can't live in our society. See, every person, every individual has some culture. Every family has culture. Every society has a unique culture. Okay, like that. If this culture will be going to transmit from the generation to generations. Okay, that transmission of culture also comes under the part of education. The transmission of culture comes under the part of education. Okay, right on. Every society has its own ways and means of fulfilling his need. Education has come to be one of the ways of fulfilling this another line. The term education is derived from the Latin word educate. Latin word educate, which literally means to bring up, and is connected with the verb educate, which means to bring forth, See, every word is derived from some other language, okay? In that way, I said in the first class only, okay? Like that, the education was derived from the Latin word educate, which means to bring up. To bring up means to develop ourselves, okay? Without the education, so see, you have the education, that's why you know how to use all the electronic gadgets, or how to read, or how to write, you know each and everything, okay? You're the educated people, and you know what is right and what is wrong, okay? You are the people who are aware with the what is right and what is wrong. See, the education gives the knowledge, not only knowledge, but also brings forward the people, okay, to get the progress or develop in the well and knowledge manner, okay? So the education is very important for each and every society. So without the education, there is no developed society. So with the education only, the technology was going to develop. With the education only, each and everything was developed in the all over the globe, okay? So that's why education is very important. So here the education means to bring up or to bring forth, which is nothing but to develop or to progress, okay? Next, write on. Peter Worsley gives a definition about the education, okay? Or he said some of the words regarding the education. What he said, write on. Peter Worsley says a large part of our social and technical skills are acquired through deliberate instruction, which we call education. A large part of our social and technical skills are acquired through deliberate instruction, which we call education. And it is the main waking activity of children. From the ages 5 to 15. And often beyond. See, the government used to say the minimum education. Every person has to know how to write and how to read. The minimum free of cost education was given by the government, okay? So that's why there were primary and secondary schools which were given by through government, okay, not only in our state but also all over the India. India, they used to provide the minimum education, and they used to say that below 15 years children, they were not allowed to work or not allowed to do something. They have to go for schools. That's why they started the midday meals too. For to get their education, they started the midday meals too. It was first started in Tamil Nadu. The midday meal scheme was started in Tamil Nadu. Okay, see, to provide అంటే ఒక మన నేషన్ కి మినిమం లిటరసీ రేట్ ఉండాలి కాబట్టి వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తున్నారంటే ప్రతి ఒక్కరు చదవడం రాయడం తెలియాలి. See, not only the government but also the religion text used to say the person have to know how to read and how to write. Okay, how to read and how to write. The religious text also used to say like this. See, that only here the Peter Worsley says that the main activity of the children from the age of 5 to 15 is to have to educate themselves. How to educate themselves. Write down now definition. So many definitions are there. Apart from, there were given two definitions. Write down. First one is given by F.J. Brown and J.C. Roque. F.J. Brown and J.C. Roque says that education is the sum total of the experience which molds the attitudes and determines the conduct of both the child and the adult. Conduct of both the child and the adult. Okay. What he says, the education is going to mold the individual's attitudes and also determines the behavior of the individual. See, with the new education, we used to learn so many things. If you stay at home, you don't know anything. If you stay at home, you know the only informal things, not the formal things. But when you go to school or colleges, what do you know? You will know the formal things. Okay, if you won't study the law, what will going to happen? You don't know what is law and what are the acts are there and how it will be going to be related to the society. You don't know. Okay, all these things where you will get through the education. See, at home we'll get only the informal education, but the remaining all the things, awareness of the society will come from the schools and the colleges, and not only from the society and as well as with our peer groups. The peer groups we will be going to play a very important role in our lives. Okay, so peer groups is nothing but friends group. Okay, friends will going to play a very important role. చూడండి, మనకి కొన్ని విషయాలు ఫ్రెండ్స్ ద్వారానే తెలుస్తాయి, కొన్ని విషయాలు బయటికి వెళ్తేనే తెలుస్తాయి. ఇంట్లో ఉంటే మనకు తెలియవు. కొన్ని విషయాలు మనం స్కూల్స్ కి కాలేజెస్ కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు చదువుకున్నప్పుడు నేర్చుకున్నప్పుడు మాత్రమే తెలుస్తాయి. సో ఇట్ మోల్డ్స్ యాటిట్యూడ్, అంటే మనము ఒకలా ఉన్న వాళ్ళం ఇంకోలాగా తయారవడానికి కారణం ఏంటంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ అ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అండ్ ద సొసైటీ. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ definition was given by James Welton. James Welton in Encyclopedia Britannica writes that education consists in an education with its own ideals of life, with its own ideals of life. Okay. James Welton in the Encyclopedia Britannica writes that education consists in any attempt on the part of the adult members of the human society to shape the development of the coming generation with its own ideals of life. Okay, this definition was given by James Welton. And next slide heading. Education as a social process. Education as a social process. I don't under that. See, in this aspect, there is nothing to discuss. Okay. అంత డీప్ గా డిస్కస్ చేసుకునే థింగ్స్ ఇందులో ఏమి పెద్దగా ఉండవు. జస్ట్ note down the notes regarding this. Okay. If the question rises in the examination, you have to write no. So in that aspect only, I'm giving shortcut. Write down education as a social process. Under that, write down education as an attempt. Education as an attempt to transmit the cultural norms, of the group, to transmit the cultural norms of the group, of its younger members, of its younger members. It is also understood as a continuous effort. Is also understood as a continuous effort on the part of the individuals, to acquire more and more knowledge, Education as an attempt to transmit the cultural norms of the group of its younger members. It is also understood as a continuous effort on the part of the individuals to acquire more and more knowledge. Full stop. Education as a process or a continuous entity. See, the education till born నుంచి till death వరకు చదువుతూ ఉన్నా ఇంకా ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అన్నది తరగదు. ఏదో ఒకటి మనం నేర్చుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. మన జీవిత కాలంలో ఈవెన్ మనం 0.01% కూడా నేర్చుకోలేం. ఉన్న ఫ్యాక్ట్. రిమెంబర్, నేనేదో 10th అయిపోయింది, ఇంటర్ అయిపోయింది, గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ అయిపోయింది, లేకపోతే పీజీ అయిపోయింది, నేను పెద్ద ఇది అనుకోవడం అది చాలా స్టూపిడిటీ మాట. మనకి ఏమీ తెలియదు అందులో. 0.01% కూడా తెలియదు. రిమెంబర్, మనం ఎంత చదువుకున్నా చదువుకోవాల్సింది ఏదో ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. సో దట్స్ వై ఎడ్యుకేషన్ యాజ్ అ ప్రాసెస్ ఆర్ ఏ కంటిన్యూస్ ఎంటిటీ. ఓకే, చాలా మందికి ఏంటి అంటే మాకు వచ్చు, మేము రాయగలం, చదవగలం అన్నది ఒక ఇది ఉంది మీలో చాలా మందికి. సో దట్ వాజ్ వోంట్ హ్యాపెన్. ద ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్ ఈస్ education viewed as socialization is continuous. Education viewed as socialization is continuous. See, always the socialization will be continued because manam ఇంకా ఎదిగే కొద్ది ఏదో ఒకటి నేర్చుకుంటూనే ఉంటాం. సో దట్ కమ్స్ అండర్ ఇంటూ ద సోషలైజేషన్. వి లెర్న్ ద సంథింగ్ న్యూ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ వి లెర్న్ ద థింగ్స్ టు డెవలప్ అవర్ సెల్స్ విల్ కమ్ అండర్ ఇంటూ ద సోషలైజేషన్. Okay, in that way, in that process, education will be viewed as a socialization is continuous. And the second one is education viewed as education viewed as an agent of cultural transmission, and it is also continuous. Education viewed as an agent of cultural transmission, and it is also continuous. Okay, next point. Education implied as an attempt to an acquired knowledge is also continuous. Education implied as an attempt to an acquired knowledge is also continuous. See, through education, the culture will be going to transmit to one generation to another generation, and it will be going to, it will unable to stop because it will be a continuous process. Because the society will be going to be further with the reproduction system. So the culture will be going to be continuous in that same way. Okay, it cannot be stopped, and it will be the education, the form of education will be regarded as an agent between the generations. Okay, and if the knowledge will be also continuous because మనం ఒకటి నేర్చుకునేసరికి ఇంకా మనకు తెలియాల్సినవి చాలా ఉంటాయి. See, still now I completed 2 post graduations and 1 PhD, but I don't know anything. I'm saying fact, but I don't know anything because we have to learn so many things. What we are learning in the part of education, that is very minute part. We can't. It is a negligible one. We are unable to see. It is a negligible one. See, you know the negligible part means, because you all belongs to the science students. Okay, you know what is negligible. So we can't count. Okay, what you are studying, you are unable to count because it is a negligible thing. You have to study more and more, and you have to gain more knowledge. See, మనమే మాత్రం చూడండి, పెద్ద వాళ్ళు లాంటి వాళ్ళు, స్వామి వివేకానంద ఇలాంటి వాళ్ళకే అసలు ఏంటి అన్నది అంతు చెక్కలేదు. అలాంటిది మనం ఎంత, మనకి ఏ గుడ్డు తెలీదు. మనం ఏంటంటే ఉదయం లేచామా, ఏదో క్లాస్ టైం నచ్చితే క్లాస్ విన్నాం, లేకపోతే లేదు, నచ్చితే బుక్ తీయడం, లేకపోతే లేదు, హ్యాపీగా సినిమాలు చూసుకున్నామా, ఇది చూసుకున్నామా, అది చూసుకున్నాం, తిన్నామా, పడుకున్నామా. అది మనకి ఇలాంటి వాళ్ళకి ఏమీ లేదు. అలాంటి వాళ్ళు చూడండి, స్వామి వివేకానంద లాంటి వాళ్ళకి ఏమీ తెలియలేదు. అలాంటి వాళ్ళు ఏమాత్రం చాలా నెగ్లిజిబుల్ థింగ్స్ మనం అయితే చెప్పాలి అంటే. సో ఏంటంటే బీ కేర్ఫుల్ విత్ అవర్ స్టడీస్. ప్లీజ్ గో ఆన్, డోంట్ నెగ్లెక్ట్. కోవిడ్ ఉంటది, పోతుంది, వస్తుంది, వెళ్ళిపోతుంది, ఆ తర్వాత విషయం. కానీ మనం స్టాండర్డ్ గా ఉండాలి కదా ఇక్కడ. తర్వాత కోవిడ్ వెళ్ళిపోయి ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ ఎగ్జామ్స్ రాయాలా. In the month of August, you are going to, within a few days, you will have the semester exams. I think this is the first semester in our law. I think so. So, ivanni meer rayala, chadavala. So, don't neglect anything. Please be prepared for your examinations and please do well and don't neglect anything. Okay? See you tomorrow at the same time.